Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, the Office of the Prosecutor summons Vice President Sara Duterte in connection with a case filed by the NBI. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba in the Philippines for a 2-day visit. In usual Trump fashion, the U.S. president marks his first 100 days in office attacking Democrats. And a look at acclaimed Filipina actress Dolly de Leon in Season 2 of 9 Perfect Strangers. Thanks for joining us. Vice President Sara Duterte confirms receiving summons from the Office of the Prosecutor. The VP announced this Tuesday when asked about a non-bailable human trafficking charge filed by the DOJ against Duterte ally Harry Roque.
Ako man ay naka-receive din kanina ng summons sa Office of the Prosecutor sa final ng National Bureau of Investigation na kaso laban sa akin.
The NBI earlier filed charges of grave threats and inciting to sedition against the VP. That's in connection with her controversial online press conference where she revealed hiring someone to assassinate the first couple and House Speaker Martin Romualdez if she herself gets killed. The Commission on Elections assures the public all poll data are safe. This following the arrest of an alleged Chinese spy near the COMELEC main office in Manila. More from Joash Malimban.
The NBI arrested the Chinese national just a few hundred meters away from the COMELEC main office Tuesday afternoon. The Chinese national was on board an AUV and was carrying an international mobile subscriber identity or an IMSI catcher. The device reportedly has the capability to collect data and transmit messages to electronic mobile devices within a radius of 500 meters to 3 kilometers. The NBI fears that the arrested Chinese national could be a spy, confirming the AFP's intelligence report of a possible Chinese interference in the upcoming elections.
Ang ating national security posture, if you look at how they operate, this is very alarming. This needs full government attention.
According to the NBI, they had been monitoring the suspect for 4 to 5 days. They tailed him from Makati until he arrived in Intramuros. Authorities decided to intercept the suspect after he allegedly took photos of buildings around the COMELEC office. The suspect claimed that he had only been in the country for 5 days and was here solely as a tourist. But the NBI said that this is not an excuse for domestic law violations.
Tourist or no tourist, basta may violation ng ating domestic laws, that's no excuse. Your status for coming here, your stay, that's no excuse.
COMELEC Chairman George Garcia meanwhile assured the public that all election data is safe. He said that the election data is not stored in the main office, so there is nothing to worry about. The arrested Chinese national will be brought to the NBI office to determine what information the IMSI catcher may have gathered. If found to have violated the law, he could face charges under the Anti-Espionage Law and the Cybercrime Prevention Act. Joash Malimban, Billionario News Channel.
The Gen Z and Millennial votes could make a big difference in the midterm polls. The younger generations are expected to deliver about 40 million votes when the elections go full swing on May 12. Speaking on Billionaire News Channel's It's a Beautiful Day, political analyst Froilan Calinong says that despite the staggering projected numbers, many of the young voters remain dissatisfied with the current political scene.
There are several challenges that the youth actually have to counter. One of which is, of course, the prevalence of dynastic politics, vote buying, influence peddling, spoil system, patronage. Then there is also the problem of political apathy. Many of, or at least some of our young voters seem to be disillusioned already with our political system. And so this, again, becomes a sort of a problem for them.
Influencers have become an unexpected source of votes for candidates thanks to their appeal and reach on social media. A journalist says influencers must provide substance when supporting their chosen candidates.
Influencers now are kind of like their traditional celebrities, right? They have an endorsement power. I mean, right now, even on my feed, they make a lot of really funny videos, either criticizing or promoting a candidate, whatever political faction man yung parte ka. And so I think influencers really need to apply journalistic principles in their content, especially if they are promoting a certain candidate.
Japan and the Philippines boosting defense and economic ties. Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru is in Manila for a two-day official visit. Following talks with President Bongbong Marcos in Malacanang, Ishiba announced Japan and the Philippines have begun discussions on a potential information security agreement which will enable exchanges of confidential information.
安全保障につきましては近年
I hope that our two nations will continue to closely communicate with each other to oppose attempts to change the status quo in the East and South China Seas by force or coercion and to realize a free and open Indo-Pacific based on the rule of law.
The two leaders also discussed the impact of U.S.-China trade tensions. Ishiba says he would heed the concerns of Japanese companies in the Philippines to find solutions. The Japanese Prime Minister's visit coincides with his country's participation in the ongoing Balikatan exercises, the latest in the drills from Francis Falve.
An air missile was launched from BRP Jose Rizal. Live fire gunnery drills at sea to improve naval crew readiness and reinforce tactical proficiency. Allied vessels of naval forces from the U.S., the Philippines, and Japan performing sail formation. Participating forces also carrying out casualty evacuation procedures at sea, honing life-saving skills. These are all part of the recently concluded multilateral maritime event of Balikatan 40-2025. 6 days of complex and coordinated naval operations that underscore the growing strength and unity of allied and partner nations in the Indo-Pacific region. The MME was held from April 24 to 29 and spanned the waters from the vicinity of Subic Bay up to the Northern Luzon Command Joint Operational Area. Meanwhile, allied forces from the AFP, U.S. Marine Corps, and Australian Defense Force showcased their combined strength and operational synergy during a large-scale counter-landing and live-fire exercise in Rizal, Palawan. In a maritime interdiction scenario, the Philippine Navy assets, including the multipurpose attack crafts and fast attack interdiction craft, engaged and neutralized simulated seaborne intrusion. The Philippine Air Force FA-50 and the United States Pacific Air Force B-1B bomber aircraft, F-16 and F-18 also flew over the West Philippine Sea for a bilateral air patrol. The activity aims to strengthen collaboration and enhance interoperability between the air forces of both countries. Another highlight of the ongoing Balikatan is the air and missile defense training. Participants collaborated to sense and engage targets, employing the Philippine Air Force Spider Defense System. U.S. forces demonstrated several counter and manned aerial system technologies. The activity utilized the Marine Air Defense Integrated System, or MADIS, a U.S. Marine Corps air defense system designed to track, identify, and neutralize threats, especially drones and low-flying aircraft. Procurement of some of the new U.S. military assets are underway.
It's a very big help for us, together with their high equipment, because sooner or later we'll acquire same system. For the integration of the system is very particular and very need in our capability.
The Balikatan 40-2025 reiterate that the joint drills are not aimed at any particular country, despite China's continuous aggression in the West Philippine Sea. Francis Polbe, Billionario News Channel.
U.S. President Donald Trump in campaign mode as he marks the first 100 days of his second term in Michigan. The Republican leader touted what he described as a series of major economic wins and used most of his speech to attack Democrats, including his predecessor, Joe Biden.
Nothing will stop me in the mission to keep America safe again. It's very simple. Keep America safe again. And our first 100 days have also produced historic results in the battle to defeat Biden's inflation disaster and bring jobs and wealth back to America and bring them back to Michigan, okay? We want to bring it back.
The event was similar to past rallies that Trump held during the campaign trail, slamming critics, sparring with hecklers, and giving his political opponents nicknames.
We're restoring the rule of law, which was sort of out the window with this crazy guy we had. How the hell did that guy ever become president? Could somebody explain to me? But we're ending the inflation nightmare, the worst that we've had probably in the history of our country, getting woke lunacy and transgender insanity the hell out of our government. We're stopping the indoctrination of our children, slashing billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. And above all, we're saving the American dream. We're making America great again, and it's happening fast, too.
It appears all's well that ends well between Trump 2.0 and Amazon. The U.S. president says he has called Amazon founder and billionaire Jeff Bezos after it was reported that the retail giant planned to detail the cost of the trade tariffs to its customers. Amazon confirmed it had considered the idea, but now says it's not going to happen.
Great. Jeff Bezos was very nice. He was terrific. He solved the problem very quickly. And he did the right thing, and he's a good guy.
The White House earlier called Amazon's plan a hostile act. We're taking a break. Still to come, Ellen Pompeo gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Entertainment and sports next. Stay with us. You're watching Newsfeed at noon. Tourists have started to arrive in Boracay ahead of the expected rush for the Love Boracay weekend. Paolo Barcelon is on the scene for us from the island for more on this. Hi, Paolo. Good to see you. I know Boracay is expected to be packed this weekend, but how many tourists are arriving there on a daily basis, Paolo?
Good sunny afternoon, Mai. Malay Mayor Fronibar Bautista says they have over 6,000 tourist arrivals per day, which is still within the over 8,500 per day carrying capacity of the island. Now, Bautista says they are now eyeing to target more local tourists to come here to Boracay, and they are also partnering up with different organizations in a bid to bring more tourists. Bautista says compared to the pandemic and pre-rehabilitation Boracay, the atmosphere is more tightly monitored to ensure that a closure of the island would not happen again. From today until Friday, different events for the Love Boracay weekend are being organized, including AirAsia Philippines' Love Boracay event, which is scheduled for 4 o'clock this afternoon. AirAsia Philippines Communications Head Steve Tailisan says part of their moves to help bring in more tourists to the island is to increase flights from 70 to 81 flights per week to bring in more visitors. Now, the airline also launched its 544 peso one-way base fare promo to encourage more people to book flights to the island. Now, the promo will last until May the 4th. Mai?
Paulo, Korean and Chinese tourists are traditionally the strongest markets for Boracay. But are we seeing a decline from these markets amid the push for more local visitors?
You're right, Mai. In fact, when we interviewed Mayor Bautista earlier, one of the concerns that Chinese tourists are one of the concerns that they are seeing with regards to the decline of Chinese tourists are ongoing issues such as POGOs and Chinese incursions on the Philippine Sea. Now, these have all impacted tourist arrivals on the island. As for Korean tourists, Bautista says they are asking for bigger airport spaces either within the island or at least nearer to Boracay. Now, with over 2,500 tourists per day gap to fill the 8,540 carrying capacity of the island per day, the LGU is now also eyeing additional activities such as wellness tourism. They also have what they call work from Boracay packages to encourage more long-staying guests as well as more luxury destinations for those wanting a more luxurious stay here in this beautiful piece of island paradise. Right?
Looking good over there, but crowded as usual. Thank you, Paulo Barcelon, reporting live from Boracay. In sports, a breakthrough for cyclist Joseph Javiñar in the MPTC Tour of Luzon. Javiñar claimed victory in the Stage 5 of the summer cycling spectacle by breaking away from a 7-man lead pack near the finish line. Jonel Carcueva of MPT Drive Hub took second place, while Go for Gold Cycling's Mark Ryan Lago rounded out the podium at third. South Korea's Ju Dae-yong held on to the yellow jersey. Meanwhile, Bilyonario Manuel V. Pangilinan has raised the prize for the individual general classification champion from 500,000 pesos to 1 million pesos. The champ will be crowned after Stage 8 tomorrow in Baguio City. The next NBA AllStar game could go global. Commissioner Adam Silver says they are considering an international format for the 2026 All-Star Game in Los Angeles. The plan, a showdown between U.S.-born players and a roster of international stars. Silver explains the growing interest in global competitions, including the Paris Olympics, is a big factor. The NBA now has a deep pool of global talent featuring the likes of Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Victor Wembanyama. The potential shift comes after a lackluster reception to this year's 3-game mini tournament. The 2026 NBA All-Star Game takes place in February. In entertainment, Ellen Pompeo gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in Los Angeles. She was joined in the ceremony by her husband and 2 of their kids. Ellen is best known for the hit series Grey's Anatomy, where she has been playing the lead role for 21 years. She also stars in the new drama series Good American Family.
It's a lot of hard work, but I'm really grateful. I feel great. It's really fun to have all my worlds collide and to have my family here and my friends and my work family. It's very rarely is everyone in the same space, so it's fun to see everyone here.
The Cannes Film Festival reveals the powerful jury for its 78th edition. They include actress Halle Berry and Succession star Jeremy Strong. The jury will be responsible for watching the 21 competing films and awarding the prestigious Palme d'Or. The festival also announced Nicole Kidman will receive the 10th Women in Motion Award, which honors individuals who advance the role of women in cinema and in society. This year's Cannes Film Festival takes place from May 13 to 24. Speaking of Nicole Kidman, she's back as a mysterious guru in Season 2 of the Hulu series 9 Perfect Strangers. Also in the cast, acclaimed Filipino actress and Golden Globe nominee Dolly de Leon. Here's a peek at the new trailer.
This group has been specifically chosen.
I've met you before. I don't know if you remember me.
How are they all connected?
Is his father who I think it is?
You'll have to trust me.
I don't.
The past must be reckoned with. You came to me a broken woman. And you'll break everyone you try to heal. Stop it!
Sometimes the lies you let people believe are just as important as the truth.
She's manipulating us.
Meanwhile, the four horsemen are back to show off new magic tricks. Lionsgate has released the first trailer for the third film in the Now You See Me franchise, and it includes new faces to the series like Rosamund Pike and Dominic Sessa. Here's a look at Now You See Me, Now You Don't. What a stellar cast. And before we go, new music alert from pop superstar Ed Sheeran. The Irish sensation is dropping Old Phone on major streaming platforms Thursday. In announcing his new song, the four-time Grammy winner posted several never-before-seen photos, videos, and lyric notes from his mobile phone that he retired in 2015. Ed says his new single was an emotional journey and that he hopes listeners find some emotion in the song as well. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Good afternoon.